trusted a cop, thought there was no death, but framed in a game where lies interweave. In the courtroom's glare, she'll make them believe. In the depths of the dark, where the seats spun a while, with truth as a shield, she won't tire. With justice ablaze, burning like fire, she'll uncover the plot, take them higher. Set up in a scheme where the innocence begs, missing dog in the armored shades, deleted phones, but she won't be dismayed. She'll expose the truth, won't be betrayed. Through the storm and the strife, she'll stand tall with the strength of a warrior. She won't fall, no matter the odds. She'll lead the call in the end. Justice will fall in the depths of the dark, where the seats spun a wire. In the depths of the dark, where the seats spun a wire, with truth as a shield, she won't tire. With justice ablaze, burning like fire, she'll uncover the plot, take them higher. She'll uncover the plot, take them higher. In the depths of the dark, where the seats spun a while, with truth as a shield, she won't tire. With justice ablaze, burning like fire, she'll uncover the plot, take them higher.
Every time.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are, whoever you are. And welcome to this little recap of week 1 in the Canton Read case. And also, it's a little training session because Marissa will be taking over when I go to the Will of Knox. That means the city of Knox, Jamie. In French.
Will. Thank you.
So just to get her acclimated to all you lovely people out there and the green room yelling from Jamie. That's the worst part.
It's awful.
How we doing?
Good. It's Sunday.
It's
I don't
Sunday.
know why I'm excited about it, but it's Sunday.
Oh,
Right. I don't know why certain things I say, they just react. Whatever.
let's say hey to Dizzy Grenade and L'Espert. That's the expert in French, Jamie. And Phoenix. And Irish. And Julie from Scotland. And Pete's Pony. Whiskey.
Hey, Whiskey.
Helen from Holland. Danny G. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Well, happy VE Day in Denmark because today is the day we got our freedom back after 5 terrible years.
Aw.
So that's we celebrate, kind of celebrated today, but we also celebrated yesterday. We put candlelights in the windows to celebrate that we're no longer afraid that the British and the Americans come bomb us. So it's our VE Day today. And today we
you
started.
said VD Day. I was like, well,
Yeah,
that's
I was gonna ask you after you stopped talking. VD Day or VE Day? VE?
Victory in Europe. Don't
Okay.
don't you learn anything in school in the Americas?
No.
about America.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were here. You were part of the second World Kerfuffle. I know you were a bit late and you didn't really arrive in Europe until 43, 44, but you came by and said, hola. You made a whole ton of movies about it.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about school, to be honest with you.
Well, it's so you're kind of like McLaughlin or whatever her name was.
Who?
Yep.
Oh, good one.
I know who I sat next to.
Yeah, I knew more. I know more about my town and the people in it and what they were doing and all their business than I know about school, like what I learned at school. So
Do you remember who you stood next to? Well, who sat on your lap in a jacuzzi? We'll look at some pictures later.
well, I plead the fifth.
Yeah, same.
Hey, Puddletown. And Patty B. Qu'est-ce que c'est? That's how I know. What is it? I don't French. I don't know why. Hello, Tracy. Welcome. And Queen Olive. Ruth Hannah. That's a cool name.
Mhm.
And Robertson. So good to see all of you. And Ghost
Hi,
Street.
Dee.
And Louis Croix. Cox. Well. Blablaise. And Trace 72.
Hi.
With a free Karen Reed beanie on. That's cool. And Ariel. Carlene. Erin. Of course, Erin is here. And Stephen.
Hey,
24
Steven.
hours in, still have had my official first medical response call to use my new license. Good. Just remember, if there's snow, get to work 2 hours early.
And shovel the
Start
apron.
yeah, get that apron shoveled.
Yeah. Hairway to Stephen. I'm so far behind. Mom of 10 and Glen Lake. Not VD, VE, like in Echo. Hola, Chrissy.
It's VD day for Baker. Hi, Chrissy.
You didn't know what Europe was until I was in high school. That's where everything comes from, because I never met an American who didn't say, "Well, I'm German, Irish, American." No, you're an American. You stayed there for more than 2 generations. Forget about it. You couldn't find Germany on the map. Just admit you're Americans.
Mhm.
Be proud of it. You're a great country.
I have no shame.
Oh, I know that. I've seen the picture. Congrats, Ariel, on law school.
Aw, congrats, Ariel.
We'll
I
cover
think
your
she was
cases.
saying she finished.
Well,
Last I heard.
we'll cover her cases.
Yeah.
You can give us a shout out in the opening statements. That would be cool.
Go watch
Your
John
Honor.
Baker.
And Amy Baker, how are you doing? Before my opening statement, I would like to, yeah, that would be good. Thank you, Irish. Your sister watched yesterday and thought Baker was British. Well, it's because I have absolutely no accent.
She didn't think he was Scottish. He was just speaking. He had a Scottish accent in the background, guys. It was great.
Another Dutch person, Matilda.
Hey, Matilda.
That's the name of. Well, no, I think they have a king now. They used to. Is it your future queen who's Matilda, or was it the previous queen who was Matilda? I can't remember. And rare Aussie, Panilla. That name. Can you change it back?
Odd fish.
Taylor de la Carissa was better.
That's Carissa.
It's been 30 years since I left school, and I still remember who I went to school with in the same year. I do not know who was in the year below or the year above, but in the same year, yes. Yeah, but we'll watch some pictures later. I might have had a case where we watched some video surveillance, and that was one of my sister's old schoolmates under surveillance from the police.
Isn't that something?
Everyone in Germany thought I was German until I opened my American mouth. Everyone in Italy thinks I'm German because I'm fat.
What?
Yeah, they thought I was German because I'm fat. When I'm coming to
Are
Tennessee,
fat
I'm coming to
people?
Tennessee in not next week, but the week after, and already hot. I'll die.
He's gonna burst into flames, guys.
Hey, Dave, how are you doing? Mm-mm-mm. I complain about toilet, and now you want it back. No, I said toilet Carissa. I was the only one who could say that name.
Did you call her
Well,
Toilet Carissa?
no, I called her toilet Carissa.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Hey, Müller. That's a German last name. Well, let's get to the meat of it. If you should surmise, Marissa, in 5 minutes. Oh, it's Beatrix. Is the daughter Matilda? You used to have a Queen Matilda, right? All right. You want to link Valhalla? Come on and talk about the first week. Just let me know, Marissa. If you should talk about the first week, what would you say we've learned? If we're starting out with the defense, no, the state.
Right. So there was snow, more snow. It was very
Oh,
hard to
sorry.
see because of the snow. People came in early because of the snow.
Mm.
People saw a body upon arrival, and it was somewhere between the road and 20 feet away from the road. There was 3 women there. One was frantic, running around. One may have snuck into the house. Not sure yet. What else? One, the latest one we saw, I think she was the last one. No, she was Friday morning, I guess, was the rest of hers. May or may not have gone to school with the daughter of the owner of the house that the body was found on.
Mhm.
That sentence made sense. I think so. And what am I forgetting? Oh, they all said different things. Either I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, question mark. Or what was the one with the F word?
He's effing dead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's definitely
dead.
dead.
He's effing dead. What was the other things that they said? I don't have my notes in front of me.
Is he
Did I hit him?
dead? Did I? Yeah, there's
Is
a
he
did
dead?
I.
That was a lot of different things. And somebody may or may not have said it on the ambulance or in the hospital or to someone, but it's only documented when Proctor shows up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in any reports until Proctor started his investigation. Little suspicious.
Yeah.
Maybe not. We'll have to see.
Oh, I like that she called him her husband. I
Oh,
think
yes.
that was. I saw some people. Well, lots of ways so she could try and get out of it. No,
What?
think-
That doesn't make any sense.
no.
There's lots of reasons for that.
Yeah, because if you're in a relationship and they were kind of committed and they kind of took care of 2 kids together. Yeah, and because they didn't live full time together. I'm 27 years old, but I don't know if I wanted to have a live-in partner right now. I'd be fine with like a 5-2 split or a 2-5 split like they had. Because when you've been single and you're 27 years old, you kind of have different things that you kind of used to do. Imagine someone had to live with me with all the streaming I'm doing with all of you people. Sitting in there and say, could you keep it down? Could you
When
keep
you're
it
yelling
down?
at us.
I have
Oh,
Jamie for
Ariel.
that.
Yeah. Errol made a good point too. The second ambulance guy said the police officer told them that John was wrong. So it kind of came. We don't really know if it came from her or if it just came from what somebody said. So people are making it a big deal.
Yeah, I don't.
Regardless.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
and Jamie, if you should surmise what the defense did this week.
Tore everybody apart. Basically showing all of the shakiness to the fact that all of a sudden now you're saying this thing, but you never reported it to anyone. You never wrote it down. You never really told anybody, even though that one guy claims he told everybody. But and the chick's relationship
Yeah.
with a family member.
And if I should say something about the state opening, absolutely ludicrous. 45 minutes. I think I counted 4 minutes talking about who, how, and when. The rest was snow, Aruba, arguments, kids, family. There
What
was
fire truck they
absolutely
drove?
yeah. What fire truck? How many would state? We will hear from all the first responders. Some of them will say, "I hit him. I hit him. I hit him."
He
Okay.
named like 85 people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know. Like, who?
Lally mentioned one witness every 30 seconds on average for just under 45 minutes. Yeah, that would fill up his list. But the funny part is Lally went back to the theory that they ditched. So now she bunked him with 24.2 miles per hour, and then he fell backwards, hit his head. What was the funny part about hitting his head if we think about the EMTs?
Not one of them mentioned it.
No one
No
saw the
one
laceration.
mentioned a 2.5-inch laceration to the back of his head, which should have bled like a stuck pig.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite impossible to believe none of them would have checked him.
Well, I mean, I don't do this stuff, right? But isn't it a big deal to really understand what injuries he has and how you touch him? Because, like, a lot of people, like, if their neck's injured, you got to be really careful the way you, move them. Like, it seems so juvenile, like they didn't do their job well at all.
I want to know if they had a neck brace on him before they scooped him.
I think because of the state he was in, they probably thought, F it, just get him on the board, get him in there. But is anyone, Cynthia, you're a retired firefighter. How do you get someone on the board? Do you pick him or do you roll him? When I was, the last time I was tied to a stretcher and put in the back of a Black Hawk, we were rolled onto a stretcher because to preserve if any injuries. So you lift them, stabilize them, roll them over to the board. That's why you use the board, is to stabilize their backs when you move them to the stretcher. If you roll him, wouldn't you naturally, because one person would have been holding his head if they didn't put a neck brace, even if they put a neck brace on him. Still, no one saw 2.5 inches of a quite deep gash in the back of his head. And as one person said there was a puddle of blood beneath him. No one else mentioned blood anywhere other than on his face.
Yeah, if he was laying on his back with that wound, I mean, all of the blood should have been draining, like just gushing out of that thing.
Yeah. And why did all of them say 2 females? That's another thing. The police officers mentioned 3 ladies, but everyone who arrived at the scene from the firefighter department, I think only one mentioned 3 ladies. The
Right.
rest of them, one mentioned two were at the body and one was standing on the side of the road. So they can clearly remember the one guy who looked her in the eyes and said, "What happened? I hit him. I hit him. I hit him. With your fists? Did you kick him?" That was one story of the I hit him. The next one was, I stood 2 feet from her and asked her if she could tell me his data. And she said, it's this name and he's a police officer. I hit him. And the last one was that McLaughlin or whatever her name was, who where she told her, "I hit him," and she said, "What did you say?" "I hit him," and the police officer said, "Okay, I hit him. Goody, come down here." That police officer, I would really love to hear his name, because if a police officer overheard a person at a crime scene saying, "I hit him," and he said, "I'll be fine."
Yeah, no follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's confessing? Maybe I should investigate this.
Yeah. Yeah, and preferably we have a device that scoops if where to. Yeah, but if you just have a backboard, you will just roll them onto it. That's why you have a backboard.
Well, they did mention the scoop, right?
I can't remember. They said we put him on the backboard. That's what I remember it as. But I'm not sure. And we learned that Karen was the only one behaving like a person who just found a dead loved one. But Karen was the only one that was sectioned. Yeah. And another thing, who called John to the house that night? We haven't talked about that yet. We know that because we've looked at all the papers.
It was her.
That was Jen.
Ooh.
Jen
Jen
McCabe.
Yeah, it's Jen McCabe. Who was
Jen's friend, John.
Who was totally cool at the scene. It was so cool she ran to the house. So cool that she made 3 phone calls. It's amazing how no one ever looked at her.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how she acted like she didn't know this guy. Like it was crazy. I can't wait to hear her like 911 call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Section in Karen was a chess move. They had a game plan by 4 a.m. I want to know who called that in, that she was idle. Am I correct? And I can see we have a lot of the OGs, people who have been in on this for a long time. I believe that's Carol Roberts who went into that, and the "I hit him" statement was, according to Jen McCabe, first stated when they were sitting in the car to try and calm her down. But we know now for the desk cam video, they didn't do that. They didn't sit in a car and try to calm her down. She was all over the place.
Right.
Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Yeah, section 12, yeah. And then they could use that against her because, she was so distraught she didn't want to give a urine sample. She just lost her husband. He was a couple of flights of stairs above her. And she wasn't cooperating.
Maybe she didn't have to pee.
Yeah, and maybe they threw her in a psych ward when we had one officer say, "I didn't think she needed it." But the other one threatened her and said, "I can force you to go there."
Yeah. Go the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah, cervical is top priority. Yeah, so one guy would have been stabilizing the head. His hands would be full of blood if he was. Yeah. Yeah, and Carol Roberts is also John's friend, and she was, as I remember reading, because of course we haven't really mentioned her other than she talked bad about Carrie when she was at the psych ward, or the thing that Lally tried to get in the end. She acted kind of appropriate at the scene, but I can't wait till Jen McCabe comes on the scene.
Yeah.
It's they testified that they rolled her twice, once to check his backside for injuries and once to get him on the backboard. Yeah, and we had how many? 5 people who touched the body. Or were near the body, operated on the body. None of them mentioned a big gashing head wound. I can't pull up the picture, but it's 2.5 inches long and it's gaping like 1/2 inch to 1 inch.
Yeah.
So it's a big gusher.
And they did make a big point of saying how dark it was. And I'm wondering if that's why. Because they were saying,
No.
oh, it was much brighter in the ambulance. Well, wouldn't they check again in the ambulance for?
Of
I don't
course they would.
You would think they would. Because
Of course they would.
they need to look at everything going on with this dude.
That's what
So they can treat him.
That's what they stated when they got him in the ambulance and had his clothes off. They checked his upper body to see if there was any bruising. So they checked him in the ambulance. We know that for a fact. But again,
Mhm.
they didn't see a 2.5-inch gash to the back of his head. What about the crews that only mentioned right side eye trauma? Yeah, that's another thing. Everyone said he had a black right eye. We've seen the pictures. He looked like a raccoon because both of his eyes were black.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Karen did go to sit in the car, but came right back. The video image cut part of it out. Okay, yeah, but she didn't sit in there and talk to Jen McCabe and tell her, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." And that's Jen's statement, because that's what I believe she called Proctor back to tell him that story. But again, now we're
did.
going back to the
Yeah.
testimony.
I'm gonna keep in, like what's been testified to.
Yeah, that's another thing. Why didn't they keep her if she was so distraught that they Section 12'd her later? But she was driven away by Kerry Roberts, I believe. So that's probably why. There's just no way you can prove Karen is guilty. It's crazy. Sean, sadly, there is a way. And that's just fill the jury's heads with enough circumstantial evidence of something must have happened, because we just showed you 72 people on the stand. We saw that in the Zachariah Anderson case. There was nothing in that as well. You just had the right people cry on the stand, and everyone believed them.
Yep.
I keep telling you, they put in an airway first. If he was alive, he was dead, but it didn't fit the timeline. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they tried to put in that the guy. He was very proud of it. The first EMT. That's correct. No, this trial can't be used to prove someone else did it, but it can be used to point a finger at someone else so Karen can go free. Because if
The
you
state
have
will have to decide.
you don't have to name a third-party culprit. You just have to raise doubt that there could be a third-party culprit, because then you're in reasonable doubt and you have to release her. Hey, Luna.
Hey, Luna.
Caitlin would be another way to get those photos in, because she's in there too. I'm pretty sure Auntie Bev will do whatever she can to keep it out.
Mhm.
But at some point, I saw someone speculating, saying, what if let's just we have all of the good work from Marissa updating and Peter A updating. Let's say this one. What if you're this girl who's advertising for her skills? Don't do this in pictures, girls.
I didn't notice that at
I
first.
didn't either.
Let's say she really can't live with this little sweetheart telling that we're not friends. We're not friends. We never talk. And whose house is this in?
Mhm.
As far as I know, this is Caitlin Albert, right?
Mhm.
She's the only one who doesn't have shoes on.
It's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I don't know if I went to Jamie's house. Well, if I was wearing socks and she said, "Oh, could you leave your shoes by the door?" I would do that. But when I watched it, I thought that's weird. She's the only one who doesn't have shoes on. Imagine this young lady comes back and say, we had this picture taken at my 25th birthday, at the Albert's residence? If she comes forward and says that, how can then the defense can put her on the screen and impeach them? Call a firefighter. Oh well, she forgot her cross in her low-cut shirt. Call her back and say, "Why did you lie on the stand?" Hey, Food Fairy. And Texas Jen, how are you?
Hey, Texas Jen.
Yeah, and they were on the cross-country team too. Again, I know her. I knew her. Yeah, Jackson mentioned the photos to the jurors, but the problem is they have to see it, in my opinion. Photos works best when you see them, because saying, if you saw this picture or you saw, let me find one of the other ones. You saw this picture instead. And she said that story. We didn't socialize much. If I showed you this picture and said, well, you're over here, and I can't even, who's Caitlin in this one?
Can you go back to the one where they're in the kitchen? No, it doesn't look like the kitchen of 34 Fairview, but the floor looks the same.
But again, if they showed me this picture, I could believe they said, well, we were just hanging out and that was cool.
Yeah.
Because this is a big group of friends. This isn't a big group of friends. These are people who know each other. She made her boyfriend happy. But no, I'm thinking she's advertising.
Could be.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Hey, Ronnie.
Picture just look old. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Doesn't matter.
No, because her story was, I went to high school with a girl named Caitlin Albert. I knew her as an acquaintance. This is knowing someone as an acquaintance. This is being friends. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have all these people here. Yeah, this is last day of summer something. All the kids are coming together. But this is a small group of friends that's doing something together. They're not just taking this as a club. She has her shoes off. This is a cozy get together. Jamie, how many of your high school acquaintances have you had pictures with only 4 people in it?
I mean, only really my closest friends.
Yeah,
Ones I hang out with the most.
last girl on the right is the prettiest. She looks a little Middle Eastern. That group of 4 pics doesn't look like it was taken that long ago. No, it's probably, well, 2014, 2016, probably with the fashion and stuff like that. Probably pretty. But still, I don't care about the age of it. I care about she lied saying we were acquaintances. Acquaintances is someone you kind of know. If you met them at Walmart, you'll say, hey, and you just walk on. This isn't a picture. This is, you would say, hey, you here? How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while.
And I think hospice dress is something like that. I've taken pictures with people at my job when they had like these like parties for things. That's like, to me, that's different. Like I guess in that scenario, I would say, oh, that would be different. But when you're like at someone's house clearly or somewhere taking a picture like that, I think that's a
Yeah.
lot different. You're either getting ready to go out together or go somewhere together.
I'm bringing that up in a bit, Anna. Isn't that the same look from 20 years ago? No, I wouldn't say 20 years ago, because I remember when my girls got these shoes. And they were the craze, roughly around the time when they were 14, 15 years old. So that'd be 2014, 15, around that time. So this could be at the end of the school year, but as I said, this is a class getting together. This is friends ready to go out.
Hmm.
There's a big difference between those two pictures, in my opinion. You can't claim you're an acquaintance when you have a picture like this. If
Yeah,
they
it's
didn't
not like
hang
they're
in the same clique, then it's acquaintance. Exactly. Those sneakers newer. Crop tops and high-waisted pants are fairly new, aren't they? I don't know. I'm not a woman. Yeah, my daughter has them too. She loves them. Hey, Stace. Well, I can agree with the stainless steel look. That's a while back, but
I have
this is
stainless steel
quite new.
stuff.
Yeah, but again, it's easy to clean and leave stains on.
I put the Zillow link in chat, in private chat.
Yeah, you can just pull it up. We're training you today.
Regardless of how long ago it is, the point is the way she testified
Again,
on stand. It was BS.
we are acquaintances, but we were on the same team. Så 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. There's 20 people in that screen. Yeah, that's acquaintances, but you know people.
Mhm.
That's the kitchen. So the cabinets are different, but
But
they
this
could have
is
easily been painted.
redone,
There's
right?
the doorway.
This is when they were selling it, right? Because it was
Yeah.
it was like remodeled before they sold it.
But does the floor look the same?
The floor looked the same, and if you look at the toaster, let's sleuth it a bit. Does it look the same? You have something
Oh
back
wait,
there
that's
on
a
the.
dishwasher
Is it a
where the
dishwasher?
stove would be.
Yeah, so it's not the same kitchen, and you're
No.
lacking a door. And but that's not that important. My thing was, this is a group of friends. This is not a group of acquaintances.
Yeah.
And we have more damning evidence because we don't know each other. There's only 9 people in this picture.
Yeah, what is this, cross country or no, powder puff?
I think it's
Probably like powder
yeah,
puff football.
it's
They always
some
did that.
game where they're dressed in the same outfit.
Usually the girls did like senior year, they did like powder puff football, like touch football.
Yeah, but again, Jamie, how many of your acquaintances that you hardly knew and can't really know the parents of did you play flag football with? Or lacrosse,
mean,
whatever it is.
It was usually the same group of friends.
It says powder puff on it. Well, there's not many photos. Does the date on the shirt for Powerpuff say 2013? It does. So this is, but again, my point
Well, it's
isn't how
clearly in
old
high
this is. Just remember her testimony. I went to high school with a girl called Caitlin Alberts. We were friends of friends. I would say more like acquaintances. I know it doesn't do anything because it will be Lally who should charge her with perjury. Ain't gonna happen because he might have helped her remember stuff. But it's just to show you this lady clearly lied on the stand, and
I mean,
we talk
remember
so
she
much about
said she didn't even know her family, who her dad was, or who even Kevin Albert was, a police officer that she would probably come across quite often in her job.
yeah.
So there's a lot more to it than just, I don't know. Caitlin Albert's just a girl I went to school with. I don't know her family. I don't know her brother. I don't know her cousin. I don't know her uncle. I don't know any of her uncles or dad. BS.
I can't see how she technically was. Well, she was correct. She went to school, but she was not an acquaintance. This is this a prom picture?
Yeah, but which one is Caitlin?
I don't know.
That's the one in the black dress.
Is she the one in the black?
I didn't realize she
Yeah.
had like those teeth, but okay.
She has those teeth.
Yeah, she does. Got a little Miley Cyrus going on.
Oof.
Yeah, and our pure little crossbearer has Dumbo ears. That's sweet. But again, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 people in this picture.
And
I
usually you
hardly knew
don't
her.
take prom pictures with not your friends. So,
No, these are for live pictures.
well, yeah, they're because you gather together at someone's house and do that with your
Yeah.
friends, not just random people. You take pictures with random people when you're at prom, but not before prom.
Yeah, and the uncle is on CPD, so she would have known him as well because there's a lot of underage drinking going on in most of these pictures. On the end at the left, her beak gives her away. No, it's the one on the right in the yellow dress. I think the other one is just Persian. Yeah, Caitlin is the tall lady in the black, and the yellow dress is McLaughlin. It's nice to get acquainted with the women of Canton. Yeah, and apparently, even though you take pictures with them at prom, you hardly knew them. So I think I'd prefer Caitlin be my firefighter. Yeah, she doesn't look like she could carry my fat ass out of a burning building.
No, I don't think I would. She'd help
Jill,
me fall.
that was what I said too. But from the house pictures on Zillow, it doesn't look like how her house. Hey, Captain Kern. The beak is coming in that area of Massachusetts. Southeast Mass has a strong Portuguese population. That's interesting.
The beak.
The beak.
We were both part of the Mean Girls clique, so I was acquainted. That's how I saw it. It's kind of like Jamie and her table in high school, where she was sitting there and she kept yelling at her friend, "Stop trying to make fetch happen." They made a movie about Jamie's high
Yeah.
school years.
Yeah, that was me. It was a documentary about my life.
Canton is a small town with
I am
one high
Regina
school.
George.
Canton is a small town with one high school. None of these pictures suggest that she would risk her freedom to cover up the unaliving of a fellow first responder. No, because it would be Lally who would charge her, and absolutely no way Lally will charge her with perjury. So I agree. But all of these pictures kind of hardly suggest that she lied on the stand. And even though you might not like Karen Reed, even though you think that she might be guilty, why did this lady lie? Because even the most turtle boy hating person on the planet must admit she lied about just being acquaintances. Because she was talking for 5 minutes about how she knew her, and I hardly didn't. Baby, perhaps I don't.
Oh, she was fighting it. That was the thing. She was fighting it every turn. I don't
Yeah.
know the family. I don't know anybody in that family. I don't know who her dad is. I don't know where her house is. I've never seen her house before. I've never been there before. I don't know any of her cousins. I don't know her brother. I barely know her. That's the thing. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I don't care. I think she's a lying liar who lies. Jamie, how many of you, your acquaintances, have you sat in a hot tub with? I'm so
Me neither,
sad. She's the only one who doesn't have a date.
Aw, poor girl. Maybe that's why she hates Caitlin. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Caitlin has a pretty good rack. Just saying.
These are high school girls. Stop it. I know they're not anymore, but
No, because they're drinking beer, so they're at least 21 years old. It's okay, Jamie.
sure. Yeah, me too. That's what I said when I was in pictures like this too.
You're almost positive it's Caitlin's Auntie Jen's house. I haven't seen that from the inside. Have you been to the house? I don't recall. Has she been to your house? No. So you're saying you've been to her house? Yeah. Did you ever go on a trip with her? Well, maybe. Are the pictures of you at the beach? There could be, but a part of a bigger group. Again, I don't care if you think Karen Reed is guilty. I care about this woman clearly lied in her testimony. And why? That's just my question. Why? She didn't have to lie. She could just say, yeah, I knew her. We used to hang out in high school. That's 10 years ago now. I don't see her that much anymore. Yeah, I know that was the Alberts resident. Everyone knew that. Just a small group of acquaintances who didn't know each other.
Do you think maybe she wanted to distance herself from this family just in general because she knows the controversy around this? Like,
No,
not in a
because
way of like being shady or anything, just legitimately, like, I'm not even gonna pretend like I know this woman.
then she will have said, yes, I knew Caitlin back in high school. We used to run track and field.
Yeah.
We used to hang out a lot. We went our different ways when I left high school because I
That would be
focused on my
yeah.
firefighting job, and I haven't seen. If I meet her, we'll say hi, talk to her. I haven't had a phone conversation with her in maybe 5 years. I can't remember the last time. We're friends on Facebook, but who under 55 checks their Facebook anymore?
Yeah, but do you
And
think she's that smart?
she
Because
should
that would
be.
be the smarter way to go, for sure.
Yeah. It's just why does everyone change their statement after meeting with Mr. Proctor?
I know. That's why I can't wait to listen to this guy.
Yeah.
He does.
Thank
Forever
you,
loves
Jen.
the boobies.
Well, thick thighs save lives. Maybe she was looking for a girlfriend, not a boyfriend. That's why she's always having her arm around the girls. Maybe that's why she was an acquaintance, because the other one said, "No, thank you. I don't play for that team." It's so stupid. And again, you could lie and make it seem believable. Now the jury will. And I know people in Canton are the most honorable people. So when they come back tomorrow and say, I didn't know independent research. I absolutely didn't see any news. Turtle Boy, haven't ever heard about him. What's the glera? What's a glera? Is that a kind of bird? They will have seen these pictures before they're back in court tomorrow.
Yeah.
I bet you at least 5 of the jury members have seen these pictures before tomorrow. You're more popular than me, so now you're going to pay. Yeah. Maybe she and I was just good friends in high school, but we lost touch. That would have been the way to go about it. Unmatched top and
Exactly.
bottom.
Because
Yeah,
she's older. She has like a full-time job. I mean, people they don't hang out as much as time goes on. You could have
I
just
don't
said
talk
that.
to anyone I went to school with.
But do you know where Caitlin Albert works? The Attorney
Nope.
General's office.
Okay.
I heard about that, but I didn't know if it was true.
She works for the Attorney General. I mean, not saying that means anything, but
Yeah. I hardly knew her. At least she has a matching bikini. This girl really should. It's just it doesn't look good. Does she have a jeans
I think it's
thong?
tie dye.
It looks like jeans. Is this a jeans top? This is worse than
Wow.
George.
I don't know.
Could you imagine jeans G-strings?
Baker commenting on
No.
fashion is just funny to me.
It is because it's like what? What?
Like, do you really care what they're wearing? It's what they're not wearing that you care about. Although
Yep,
they're probably
that's
in
where
high
she
school,
works.
so gross.
And again, everyone makes fun of Alabama because their family
Alabama,
trees might be a little straight, but this Canton city with 24,000 people, anyone connected to this case works for the police, the fire department, or the ADA's office. Isn't that strange?
Hmm.
Yes, that's the same top. It's from the same day at the beach. Someone said this was in Maine, but I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a girl who. Oh, let's go swim. Well, I don't have my bikini with me, and so just jumps in. Yeah, the swimwear matches. No, that's not this because this is another girl who has. That's Caitlin Albert who has the mismatch on. Maybe
Yeah,
she
and that's
borrowed it.
backwards.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just traded pieces. I don't know.
The other one looked like she needed a size bigger than Caitlin.
True. You want to get technical.
But it's just funny that you have this, and I'm just saying all you need is to have one of these two show up and say, that's not true.
Well, I mean, they.
You can only
can
impeach
put
her with it. I
Caitlyn
know
on the
that,
stand.
but you can recall Caitlin to the stand and ask, why did you lie? I didn't lie. Okay, can we get Svetlana in here? Svetlana, did you? Are you in this picture?
Well-
Yeah. Why were you in this picture? We were having a party. That's my Russian accent.
Actually, she was the one that told all them people.
Uh,
And
No,
you
Stray,
wanna
and
get
I would like to have you go back and watch Friday, Thursday, and no, Wednesday and Friday. And she did lie. And she even admitted she changed the story. So I know it's a big problem for the we don't like Karen Reed crowd that she did verifiably lie to understand because we have so much evidence of it. She claims she didn't know her. That's a lie. You can give me that. You don't have to say she's in on it or anything. Just admit, yes, they were friends. She lied about that part, which is a stupid part because she could have gotten out of it by saying, like I said, yeah, we used to run cross country in high school. Nimmer problema. And she was the one who testified that she told everyone in the ambulance she hit her. Yeah, there was
she
three
told
different.
everyone.
Yeah, and there's 3 different stories about it, but she never put it in any report. Don't you find that curious? It's funny how you always say, "Oh, they said it, we can believe it." Why didn't they put it in a report? Imagine you were on trial and no one had put anything in a report, and then they talked to a police officer, and then they clearly remembered. No, Stray, yeah, he was in Baker's chat. He was making death threats to Marissa. No, I wasn't. It's in the report, and Jamie clearly heard it. Would you say that's okay? No. Why is it okay? Because it's in this case? Is it because people don't like Karen Reed, or is it another one of those we don't like Aiden? Because a lot of the hate in this case comes from people don't liking Aiden, and I don't get it because Aiden is Aiden. You can love him. You can leave him. I don't care. He's been doing a lot of good investigating on this one. Now we're doing the trial. We're watching what happened. And this lady, no matter what, she clearly lied because I just showed you a picture of her in a hot tub. I don't know how you party, but I don't party with my acquaintances in a hot tub. Why don't they find one of these guys in the photo and see if they thought they were friends? Yeah, that's what I would do. If especially if someone might have had a little problem with Caitlin, get her to testify that yes, he was the biggest bee, and she hung out with her all the time. Thank you so much,
Bev
Anna.
wouldn't allow it.
The problem is, I think a lot of this is she. Everyone is working for the same government in Canton. Any one of these EMTs say, well, I would love to see the career trajectory of the young guy who said, I heard no such thing. By the way, I think he knows Kerry. No, he knows one of them. Yeah, Kerry Roberts, I believe, too. But all of them
also
work for the same place.
this, I hit him. Why are we thinking that this is some kind of confession? No one's really ever said how it was said. Or, I mean, we've heard it 19 different ways. It's not consistent.
Right.
And again, it was this one girl who said it to and told everyone in the ambulance. So it's not even like, and then people have heard different things. People heard her saying, is he dead? Like and none of this is consistent. And a confession, really, like we really think that this is her confessing. Did you see the car? Did anybody see that car? Oh my
Hi, Brandy.
God.
I'm just going to
Why
pull all
are
of them.
that was not the look of a car that hit a 6'2", 220-pound man, knocked him down without injuring any of his body. And he
I wanna
just
know
knocked
what
him
that-
down on the grass and he had a head injury and he died. Okay.
I want to know what that hole was that was like all rusty above the taillight was. Like, was she in a shootout?
And of
Well,
all that entire car, it just broke the taillight. We didn't dent in the car. We didn't.
Further
I
over.
get away. I really want to know why. Stop. Why there's a dent up here? That part of the tail light isn't broken. Why is there a dent up there? That's kind of weird. And yeah, as you said, this is after a 220-pound man hit this quarter panel. Do you see what I see? This part sticks out further than this part.
Yep.
Where's all the damage to the rear bumper?
And his legs.
Yeah.
Where's the
And how did
bruising
he
on
go?
his body? Where's his broken bones? Where's his bruising? Where's anything?
I saw one of these in the parking lot. I think it was yesterday. Those taillights basically come up to my chest.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, it's a pretty big car. I mean, I'm 5'4".
Yeah.
I'm
it's,
guessing he's probably 6 foot.
He's 6'2".
6'2". So it probably was more like, at most, his belly button.
He would have it at yeah, roughly lower
Yeah.
part of his chest would be on the tail light. His knees would have been crushed because
Yeah.
it's kind of the part of the car that has to take the impact with a pedestrian is this part.
Unless he was like bent over puking in his underpants. Like, I don't see how this could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see how any of this could happen without having injuries to his body. And then make it make sense how he got cuts on his arm And there's no shredding of his sweatshirt. Where
It
did
looks
those
like the
cuts
two
come from?
panels below the headlight space are brand new and replaced. No, because there's that little white tag, I think, is evidence tags. That they believe there's something there. You can see a small scratch on this one. You can see there's a. They circled this because there's a scratch down the side. This is what you do in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And then you have. I don't get this part. You have some scratching underneath the brake light, but the shape of the brake light is like this. So are they claiming his head? No, his head didn't hit this. Some part of his body hit this, and here, but didn't hit this part of the car that protrudes.
And how did a hole get there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that from
I
his
mean-
devil horns?
Yeah.
just don't
Anybody
get it.
here from the Midwest who's never hit a deer and you total a car, it looks crazy. So I don't know how you hit a man, a full grown man. And
Told the doctors that he was bit by a car. That's the part that retracts so the German Shepherd teeth can deploy. There is proof that that lens cannot be shattered in the way they are stating. It is a super high impact lens. There's also a video proving she didn't hit him. Yeah, and they will have experts proving it. So yeah, the way he was beaten screams to me a dad found something with a daughter just saying, I don't know if he was beaten. That's why I don't go into all these speculation. It was Colin, it was Chloe, I just say it wasn't Karen. I don't have to name a third party culprit. I have my ideas of what have happened. But it doesn't mean that I don't know. It could be anyone. It could be Ryan Nagel's buddy who hit him with a car. Still no evidence of him ever being hit by a car, but it could have been everyone. My firm belief is just it's not Karen. And no mention of his back of the head injury. Yeah, that's my biggest problem. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is when a lady loses control of her shopping cart.
Mhm.
Yes, ladies. About to put the. Why did I
I'm
put
with
that on?
Baker. Like, I just don't think he was. They can prove he was hit by this car. So in all things, like, I don't know what I have my theories of what I think happened, but I don't think the injuries show he was hit by this car. So in turn, Karen is not guilty.
Yeah. And why did he tell them to pay close attention to the interior? Because they removed the dashboard and the center console. Somewhere in here is where they have let's just for so everyone understand what it is. They have the car's black box. It's not a black box, I know, but it's a little tattletale that tells you how the car is accelerating, how the car is swerving, so you can pull those data, and that's normally placed fairly low in the middle of the car, so it's probably down here, and that's why they had to pry this entire piece out because they had to get into that black box, which isn't a black box, but still. So that's probably why he will tell you that they extracted that tattletale and can tell you that she went 24.2 miles per hour.
I wonder if that thing in the console, like next to the shifter, to the right of the shifter, is a radar detector that may have been on the windshield.
That big oblong thing?
Yeah.
I never seen it. I thought it was kind of like a Bluetooth speaker. It looks like my Jabra drive. It's just not as.
That's
mine is
built
just not as
into
long.
those cars. So I don't think it would be that. But it could be a radar detector, which I don't know what that implicates, but that's just what I was wondering. If that's what they were pointing to. She has to be guilty. She has a radar detector.
Yeah, probably given to her by her cop husband or boyfriend. Yeah, I did hear some hot mic moments. Some people thought it was the jury talking, but there was no press when the jury was there, so that doesn't make sense. But it was kind of hard to understand when they talk about Lally was a fool, Turtle Boy was a fool, Grant. I don't know. They talked about someone with a blog. Does anyone know if this car was impounded or did they investigate on site because there's proof that the lens was not shattered? I'm thinking on site because they shattered it setup. She went back to John's house, got the car, drove to her parents' house where the car was. No, yeah, drove to John's house where the car was picked up. In the report of when they towed the car, Proctor lied again. He put it an hour earlier because I don't know.
Because
And
it's a simple mistake.
yeah, it's a simple mistake. They claim something with daylight saving times, but daylight savings time isn't January 29th to 30th. And the tow truck driver didn't mention in his report that the rear tail light is missing, which he should do because they have to make a report when they tow something.
They would have to make marks of all the damage, right? Because the people won't come back and be like, you did this to my car.
Yeah. How much blood did he lose? He lost roughly half a gallon, as far as I know. Head wounds, notorious gaseous because your body will always do everything it can to keep your heart and your brain running. So it's consistent, but it's not consistent with the amount of blood found at the scene. Hey, Melissa. There's missing video while they had her vehicle. Yeah, there's missing video from the garage, but Lally claims that there are dash cam videos from the driveway that clearly shows the tail light missing.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna see dash cam of a cop pulling up behind her car and it's missing. So can't wait for that.
Thank you so much, Bubble Grid. Yeah, because I want to compare it to that video where we clearly see it light up when she leaves the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Bubble Grid, for the super sticker of hippos. That's just like me, a hippo.
Oh my
And Bubble Grid gifted a membership to Tracy Violet. And another one to Kathleen XXX. Thank you so much, Bubble Grid.
Thanks, Bubble Grit.
That data is given to insurance companies upon request of the insurance company. That's why your rates go up. Yeah, in Denmark you can pay less if you'll drive around with like a black box. So if you speed and stuff like that, they will charge you more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have those too. The chat is saying that that thing is not a radar detector. It is some kind of mouse-like thing that controls the screen.
Oh,
Debunked.
yeah, they have that in Mercedes too, but it just looks weird that it's sticking up in the rear end. This part of it.
Yeah, I
because
thought it
in
was like
Merce-
built in. Like
in-
Audis
in
have
the-
it built in.
Yeah, Audi and Mercedes has it built in.
I don't drive a fancy car, so I know nothing about any of this stuff.
Oh, me either. I'm just saying. I've been in them.
Never even been in one.
Have a great day at Nerf Darts. I drove my brother-in-law's. He has a big Audi R8. That's a nice car. Isn't it too big to be a garage door opener? Isn't that normally just a small clicker?
Yeah, those are usually built in too.
Mr. Albert is a cop and a first responder. McLaughlin is a firefighter medic, also a first responder. There must be more than a few accidents that they have run into each other. Well, McAlbert is not McAlbert. Albert is a Boston PD cop. So
Kevin is a Canton. So
Yeah.
Kevin, she
yeah,
should
Kevin.
know.
She should know Kevin, and she claims she
Sure.
didn't know him when she was asked if that was the one who set up the interview with Proctor. If your wife drove you to a house party and I found unalive the next day, the first thing the cop says, go in there. But Karen said, I hit him. No, Strayans. I know you really want this to be true. And I don't want to be, because now it's the $15 you paid me. That's a whole lot of money. You don't have to pay me money I'll pull up stuff anyway. You have to be truthful of what evidence have shown so far. Dos cops, that's 2 cops in Spanish, Jamie, said nothing about I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. They both wrote a report on the same day stating she was hysterical and didn't make much sense. Then you have one first responder saying he's gone, he's effing gone. Then you have another first responder saying what happened, is he dead? Then you have 3 first responders who all claim at different times having a one-on-one conversation with Karen where she stated, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. None of them, only one of them talked to her in the way that she stated on camera. We saw on the camera. Then you have 2 other officers who took her in for the Section 12 call who said, I have my notes here. Could I have hit him? Could he be dead? So you can't say she said that because there's no evidence she said it. There's propensity of evidence saying she didn't say it because there's more people saying she didn't say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. I know you really want the truth to be what you think, but you can't just take one witness and say, that's right, that witness knows everything, because the first one that you have to rely on saw him in a big fluffy jacket, so fluffy that they had to pry it off him instead of cutting it up because there would be feathers everywhere. Even no such thing happened. The second one said, I was within 2 feet of her, looked her in the face and said, what happened? And she said, I hit him, I hit him. And I asked her, with what? Your fist? Did you kick him? We know that guy was doing either pushing the little hoot bottle to give him oxygen or doing chest compressions. Then you have the third person, the person who doesn't know people she went to school with, even though I just showed you she knew her very well, didn't claim to know the house. She stated that she 3 times told her, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. The first time she said it to her. The second time she said it with a cop present. We know there's a cop there. The cop said, what did you say? And she said, I hit him. And he called Sergeant Goody down. Let me get you Goody's report, because evidence is evidence and everything is fine. But there's more people saying she didn't say it. Just to be fair. So either you have 5 witnesses lying, or you have 3 witnesses lying. I would guess 5 witnesses on my side is stronger than the 5 witnesses, especially because they didn't tell the truth about other things. And I don't know how many jury duties you've done, but to me, with all of the stuff they made up, that's I wouldn't trust them that much. Can
I
I
agree.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'll just look at.
I mean, it wasn't an important enough statement to even get anybody to pull her aside and talk to her more or write it in a report. I mean, come on now. And also on Cross, a lot of the people that said they heard that, it was kind of debunked if you were really listening.
Hmm. And yeah, the cop that was standing there when it would have been said was Officer Sarah. Ariel says. I don't know. I'm confused on when it was actually said, but
Yeah,
maybe.
because and we
But he
don't
didn't say that, did he? I don't remember.
he
each
said
one
it in
there.
his, but he said it after the fact. His statements changed.
Right.
So
No, he said, oh, yeah, you're right. Because Jackson came on and asked if he wanted to amend anything.
yeah,
So I guess he took
because
it
the
back.
reports are wrong, and then I believe they had 3 different times that he said different things to Proctor, to the grand jury, and then now in court that day.
Yeah. What a mess.
I know. And everybody's hanging on this "I hit him" thing.
Yeah. I think it was I hit him, ? If it was even said at all, which I'm doubting, but
Yeah,
I think it was, if it was mentioned, it was misinterpreted, and
because
I
think of
frankly
like,
don't think should be even brought in, but
well, it's
because they thought
their
she was crazy to
smoking
begin with.
gun. Yeah, it's all they have. They have to bring in all the snow evidence, because how is it possible that, like, what, 7 people left that house that night, walked out to their cars, and didn't see a grown man laying in the front yard? So they have to have the snowmageddon, so it's covering him, and there's no way that nobody would have saw him. And then also the statement she made, because they think this is it. But
Right.
you got to come
And the
with more
fact
than
that
that, guys.
I just can't believe they never went in the house. Like, stupid.
I
I don't
can't
know.
believe he never came out. I can't believe they never went in the house. I can't believe they didn't even pull these other people aside that were at this party that she dropped him off at immediately and start asking them questions. I can't believe they didn't rope off that scene. I can't believe they didn't do any of those things.
Right. And they didn't record a dang thing. Like, this
No,
wasn't that
no.
long ago. Recording devices were everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the cops didn't have body cams, that's fine, but when you interview somebody, you record it. Like,
They should be. It shouldn't be
and
just, I'm going to go talk to these people in their house as a group, and then I'm going to write down what they said.
right.
This is the first officer at the scene. I walked over to Karen and asked her who she was and how she ended here. Blah 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 blah.
This is
She was
Sarah, right?
hysterically and continually yelling, "Is he dead?" I kept reassuring her that Canton Fire was doing everything they can to save his life. I asked how John ended up there, and she stated, "I don't know." I asked her if she drove her here last night, and she stated, "I think so." Then I can't remember. At this point, I stopped asking questions because she was too upset and she was unable to keep her train of thoughts. I spoke with Officer Saraf and asked him what he observed arriving first on the scene. Saraf stated he saw a woman, Karen, attempting CPR on the victim in the snow. Saraf stated Karen had blood around her mouth, which he believed was from the victim's mouth and nose area. Saraf explained seconds later, Canton Fire arrived on the scene and took over the medical care. And moments later, I arrived. Following that, Reed, Karen, kept screaming, "Is he dead? Is he dead?" She was severely distraught and was not able to tell me what happened. I tried to console her and keep her out of the inclement weather. I had her sit in one of the cars. Sergeant Goody arrived and started speaking to the parties that were there. So this would be the officer calling Goody over to
Hmm.
tell her, because he was the guy who stood next to her.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for the $15. But this is the first report. This is the original report from the crime scene, with the officer who was standing next to her when she clearly stated, according to you and Mrs. McLaughlin, I hit him. Nope. He didn't. Funny, a police officer wouldn't mention that part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal,
Could
right?
be quite important.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like would be a confession, right? I mean,
Yeah, maybe they would use that. But thank you so much. So this is from the day off, and remember, the lady we should put our trust in is the one who said, "My story have evolved." And look at here, you're a
Mhm.
10 baby girl, but I'm the one to the back to the front. You're a 10, but I'm the one. You're my little boo thing, so I don't carry what your Danes say. Thank you, Brandon.
oh my God, Brandon.
I don't know.
Must not be on TikTok a lot. I don't know that one.
Yeah, I think Brandon is way too much on TikToks. Marissa, you can just pull up things if you see anything interesting, because I'm a little. Oh, thank you so much, Sheba B, for becoming a member. I'll have to go to the wall and pin
Sure.
some people.
Well, I think CJ, she says, so you deliberately hit your husband with the car and then you get out and try to do CPR? Doesn't make sense. No, because they're claiming that she hit him earlier, went home, went to bed, and then came back. And that's when she tried to do CPR. So a little bit of a timeline difference there.
And they also think that it's very fishy that I heard somebody talking about this the other day. They were telling me I heard that they said the part of the story that doesn't make sense to them is that why did she wake up in a panic in the middle of the night wanting to find him? Why how is that? I don't get how people can think that's weird, especially if it's your partner and you have they don't, first of all, you dropped them off, they were drinking, you were drinking, and then they don't come home. And when they always come home, that would worry me, especially when there's a snowstorm out. And
Right.
clearly, well, I mean, like, was she planning on picking him back up? I guess I didn't really know if that was the clear story or if he was getting a ride from somebody. Because if she's planning on picking him up after he is probably called her and then you realize he hasn't called you and then you're calling him and he's not answering and you're kind of getting ticked off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't see how that's weird at all.
First time texter. Thank you, Sheba, for writing in here. Earlier, one of you stated his position was located at the curb up to 20 feet. Is that correct? There's no way she could have backed into him because of the fire hydrant.
Well, we've heard quite a bit. It was like 10 to 20 is what we've
Somebody
heard, right?
said 5.
Yeah, I know I've heard 10. I know I've heard 20. So,
And
but she backed into him according to the state, and he flew back and hit his head on the ground.
right.
So you have to think she hit him hard, and she busted the taillight out. So she hit him hard enough to bust the taillight out, and for him to fly back without any injuries. That's what's bothering me. I don't know why. It's just bothering me.
Yeah. And no
And
damage to the car,
smack
really.
his head on the ground. Yeah. And smack his head
When
on the ground.
I've seen deer that way significantly less, just totally mutilate a car.
That
At slow speeds.
I had a story where I was stopped at a stop sign and it came out of the weeds and hit my driver's side door and dented it in.
I know. I
was
know
like,
several
what the-
people that have been hit by a deer.
Yeah.
And
And
Yeah,
I was,
it
I was
just
like, it was a huge dent. I was like, son of a.
yeah.
But like people have said, it's ridiculously hard to break that tail light with, you have to hit with some force. And I would assume that was hitting somebody's body with some force, their soft body, you're going to have some kind of injuries.
You're saying she backed into him in the road and he flew sideways?
Yeah, whatever it was, he flew back and hit his head on the ground, is what they said. And that's what caused the laceration on the back of his head.
But
I can't imagine that. I'm gonna have to see
but
some.
where on his body did she hit then? Because they're saying that there was no damage to his abdomen or his torso or his legs or even his feet. Like
Yeah, no bruising.
he was not wearing a shoe, but perhaps Jen went in and got that and threw it in the yard later
Mhm.
with the phone.
They did say the 3-point turn, but they dumped that theory. Now it's
Right.
Yeah, that's because Mr. McCabe said he saw the tire marks from a 3-point turn. They went away from that. The first theory was she stabbed him in the face with a cocktail glass. Just again to prove my point, because I have the receipts.
You gotta nail it
Um,
home.
While talking to McCabe, Reed was hysterical and distraught and repeatedly screamed, "Is he dead? And that's my boyfriend." Sergeant Goody then advised Roberts Carey to take Reed home. After Reed and Roberts left, Canton Control advised officers that Reed was making suicidal statements to her father. Roberts then brought Reed back to the scene where Sergeant Goody asked me to fill out a Section 12 paperwork, and she was transported to Good Samaritan. Didn't tell him either.
Was she on the phone with her father?
She must have been. While on the scene, all attempts to speak with Reed was unsuccessful. She was hysterical and difficult to control. The only statements that she was able to relate to Canton officers while on the scene was that she did not remember ever being at the Fairview. Reed later made statements via telephone to her parents threatening suicide. None of that said anything about it. So these are all the official documents.
Mhm.
Just remember, these are on the days after.
Yeah.
You can if you're a good driver, and you can go 24.6 miles per hour, 60 miles on a curved road in ice if you're a rally driver, or a very drunk 41-year-old woman.
Did you see Turtle Boy's reenactment of like trying to back up at that
Yeah.
speed? Like
Mhm.
that looked ridiculously dangerous
Oh
and
yeah.
unlikely.
It could just be an endearment that she saw him as his husband. I don't know how long had they been together. They've been together for 3 years.
Yeah, a couple years.
2019.
But I know plenty of people that
Yeah.
like call their boyfriends their husband because they've been together a long time.
Yeah. But it's just to me that doesn't matter. Oh, before we end, there are two people we haven't talked about. The two first witnesses. What do we think about their statements? That was the brother
Paul
and
and
sister-in-law.
I thought it was
Nothing
good for the
burger. That was
defense,
for the field.
actually. Yeah.
What was that?
Said I thought they were pretty good for the defense, in my opinion, because they had said they liked her. She was a very nice lady. She spoiled the kids. I mean, that was really the only issues her and John had, were he didn't want her to spoil the kids and got him Dunkin' Donuts, and he asked her not to. And they even specifically said they only had like typical relationship fights that everybody else has. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, again, it's some people call their husband honey in the entire life, and some will say their husband, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, my aunt
it's
and uncle
To me, it
were
doesn't
together
matter.
for 30 years before they even got married, and I thought they were married the whole time. But
Yeah, that's the big problem to me is why is there vomit inside his pants? Because the reason I could see that you have vomit in your pants is because you drank too much, you went to the toilet, and it was a two-way street.
that's
Or he
happened.
just couldn't. Maybe it was a small bathroom. He couldn't turn around, and I mean, that happens.
Oh, I can tell
He's
you that.
fat.
Oh, can I find that tweet? Because that was so stupid, I had to respond to it.
Which one?
My favorite idiot's mom.
Oh, jeez.
Why can't I find her now? Come on.
I did too, Sean. It was very telling to me that they didn't really seem to not like her. Even the sister-in-law was claiming that they were really good friends.
Yeah.
She was a really generous woman.
Yeah, and she said, he said that she called her that morning and they wanted to talk because they had gotten into an argument because John claimed she was spoiling the kids. Again, it was John who was angry. It wasn't
Yeah. How about that? John seemed to be the one that was angry at her about things, not the other way around.
Right.
And she had her own stuff too. Like there was no, it wasn't like some kind of money grab or,
Yeah.
like she had her own house. She was probably way more successful than him.
This is the reversal of the 60 feet, 24 miles per hour.
He didn't even get up to speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't hit 24 miles per hour.
You're on the curb.
Am I really?
Yeah, you're on the grass.
Remember, this was on a snowy road, and he's not doing 24 miles per hour.
Yeah, I don't think he even got close to that speed either. So
No.
We don't have a toxicology report from him.
yeah, I don't even
Why
know
is
if
there
they
no
did.
blood and vomit? Well, there's 8 drops of blood that they kept in a red Solo cup.
Yeah, they collected them in red Solo cups, guys. Come on.
Do we know if they sit where they sit by choice? I think you have like a defendant side and a victim side. No, because that gushing head wound that lost him roughly half his blood, a third of his blood, that had to go somewhere.
Yeah, where did all the blood go? They didn't
Yeah.
find any.
You're a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl. I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you found something a little too fresh, cause you're my boo thing. Thank you, Brendan. I could pull that off drunk and in a blizzard, but I have that Y chromosome. Well, let's meet up in the winter and we'll put it to the test.
Yeah.
This case won't be over till winter with the speed Lally is going.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're talking about John's family sitting behind Karen. Well, his family is sitting next to her. It's because it's such a small courtroom, so they're sitting next to her, and her family is sitting behind her.
Yeah, there's like no room in that courtroom.
His dad doesn't look entirely like he's aware of everything. I know some people made fun of him for the way he looks. He lost 2 kids within a very short
And,
time period.
and son-in-law. That's a lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. It's all the questions
It
we
happened
have.
earlier.
No, no. They will be halfway done with the state when I come home.
I thought I saw something. Hang on. Oh my God. He looks just like that guy I sent you, Baker. That's why it
Yeah.
made me laugh so hard. And he was in there drinking wine. He was, and I was just thinking of Doink the whole time, laughing.
He got a press pass. I miss my friend. Yeah, he's demonstrating. He has weed stickers all over the place. He's an idiot. When they do a search warrant of that house, we're going to see. Well, they won't do that. That's the funny thing. A lot of people out there are saying, let's nip this in the bud.
I don't
From-
know if
from the
Sheba,
get-go.
Sheba, are you new to this case?
Yeah,
I'm just curious. I'm
I
not
think
trying to be a jerk. I'm
maybe.
just asking.
yeah, because
'Cause
they won't search that house, and
They
no
never
one
did.
will be investigated for perjury. No one. No charges will be filed for perjury on any of the state's witnesses. Remember, who raises perjury charges? The DA's office.
Yeah.
Who called all these people who misremember so many things? The DA's office. The second they can get one of the the defense witnesses, they will probably try and press perjury charges against them if they can. But ADA Lally will never make any perjury charges against Laughlin or anyone else. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Yeah, just wait, she's going down because she like." No, because the big problem in this case is Bev is the one who determines what's evidence in this case, and Lally is the one who determines who lies on the stand.
Yeah, the state has a choice to actually investigate and go after the right people after this. And I will guarantee you, in most of the cases that we've seen, they never do that.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing to search on that house. They sold that house. They redid the house. They redid the basement floors. I mean, they're not going to. There ain't no way.
That's never, ever, ever.
They never investigated it in the first place, so I guarantee they're not going to go back and investigate it after all of this. If she's found innocent, which she should be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He could maybe. He's an old guy too, so he could be a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that he looks not well.
Yeah, we did see Caffey Daffy. We played it yesterday on Stab Your Day. Alberts can't get charged if she's let go. Well, they can if they find any evidence or they want to raise charges. But again,
They won't.
they won't.
I mean,
We saw that in the Adam Montgomery case, where his wife was clearly complicit in the unaliving of a small child. And they gave her a sweetheart deal of 3.5 years in prison, even though she covered up an unaliving of a 5-year-old.
She's like
As
the
long as
only
you-
one that I've
As
ever
long as
heard
they
of
can use you.
getting anything for perjury, and that was they wanted her anyway.
I mean, there's a chance that they possibly could. There's a chance that maybe the federal investigation will bring something up, and then people might protest enough that the state actually does something, but we'll see. I mean,
I believe they will never reopen this case.
Yeah. Oh, I don't either, but you know, you never know.
Yeah.
I think Lally was really, really, really hoping she wouldn't fight it.
Yeah. I
No,
was
that's why
there
they
too, that
upcharge
they
her.
wanted her to take a deal. Yeah, they wanted her to take
Mhm.
a deal and be done with it. I truly believe that too.
I wish I could find that answer. Hey,
What?
can I look up what I? It's just that. mm, mm, mm. Talk amongst
You're
yourself.
right. Oddfish, they may have thought that
Yeah,
it was a possibility.
I think they thought a lot of things would happen.
I know. Yeah, I think Lally is starting to believe his own BS at this point. But he also keeps coming up to the stand very, very red. Like
Mhm.
knows that they're putting holes in it like Swiss cheese.
This is the new explanation, Jamie. John kicked
Okay.
and cracked her tail light. This pissed Karen Reed off, so she gunned it backwards, hitting his torso and slamming his head to the icy ground. He put his right arm out to stop her. Cocktail glass in hand, broke arm went up, elbow bent, jacket tail light made scrapes as he fell. Except
Oh, it went up his shirt. Okay, get
But
out of
there's no
here,
broken
people.
bones.
no, and
Well,
there's no scratches on his shirt.
And
they're
no
meaning
damage to his torso.
glass in hand broke, and then arm went up, or broke arm went up. So I think they're talking about it like it broke and went up his arm.
Do you
But
know
then
who
why
that is?
isn't there scratches right here, like in the camera? Like, what did it just miss all of his skin and decide to go up as like up the arm farther?
And what was he wearing? A puffy coat, a long sleeve shirt.
And why is his shirt not ripped at all? Where all of this glass shredded his
Well,
arm?
do we know that? They haven't even mentioned the shirt yet. We haven't seen it.
There's no damage to the sleeve of the shirt. Yes, the lead investigator said he hoped she would unalive herself. Jamie, if you don't know, this is Wendy Murphy. She has an adopted son.
No,
Nick,
it's her. All right, I understand where she's coming from then. I apologize, Wendy.
Yeah, I said stay off Grand Supplies.
Uh,
oh my gosh, Brandon.
Yeah, and it was not
he
that.
kicked it. Oh my god, he kicked it, and she was so pissed. She was like, "I'm gonna pull up here, and then I'm just gonna jam that gas down."
Yeah, the evidence kind of seems like he had a shirt on, but then miraculously had a shirt on. Yeah, had no shirt on. Yeah. I was downtown clubbing ladies' night, seeing Shorty. She was crazy, right? I approached baby like, "Ma, what's your age?" And Type looked at me and said, "You're Dane, right?" What am I doing?
Brandon is having too much fun.
I'm gonna get the whole song in. It's too much longer.
I should give Nick a wrench. Yeah, but I just took away a lot of wrenches to clean up. But Nick stands out a lot because no one else looked that handsome in his picture. And you should see him in real life. He is a looker.
He is a handsome man.
And he's tall as hell.
Oh yeah.
He's I'm not well, I'm average European size, but that man's tall.
That's right, Volstorm. Cocaine. I love a drug.
Send him a link if you want to come on and say something before we jump off. He would have heard she flaunted at him. Yeah, and again, You saw Turtle Boy's acceleration. That was on a dry road. There was snow on that road. And
Going
she had been
14.
driving from the bar, so she would probably have some snow packed in her tires as well. It's not like you just instantly move, especially if you just floor it. And if you instantly move when you're flooring it in snow, you'll do a little fishtail.
Is it an all-wheel drive car or just like rear wheel, like front wheel?
I don't know.
Probably all.
Yeah, the sleeves should have been shredded on the shirt. It isn't. A guy made fun of it today, said, well, it's probably because he had some water on his sleeve, and when they took it off him, they pried it off. Yeah, it was a joke, but still.
I saw that. That was funny.
Yeah. It's just as good as believing that she kicked it in.
But if it like went up his sleeve and cut him, like he would have blood on his sleeve too, like coming through the sleeve.
Jamie, don't try and make sense of that.
Well, that's odd to me. Now, see, there's so many things I didn't think of, and then when I start thinking, I'm like, that makes no sense.
That's why
to
we
me.
do these small "What are we talking about?" shows,
No.
because we always end down a rabbit hole.
And then I'm up all night thinking about it, and I'm like, dang it, I wish I could sleep.
Told her I'm 27 and live a Danish life. Plus, I can tell you what the 80s like. Need a man that's polite, listens, and take advice. I could be all three. You know me too well, Brandon.
Oh wow.
I believe it starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow. She didn't say a time. She said, see you Monday, but we'll start at 8:50.
It
Would
says
the car
9.
Would the car show look at the car pics and we'll know? Well, we could do that
Would the car show what?
if it's an all-wheel drive.
Oh.
Plus, I can lay the
yeah,
pipe.
sure.
Hey, Nicholas.
Hey, Nick.
How are you all doing?
Hi, Nick.
Well, we jumped down the rabbit hole, and you know, this case is crazy.
I want to know what Nick's thoughts are. Have you been listening?
I've been listening. I've been checking the different people's streams, Valhalla's and Baker's and what's his face? Ian.
What's his face?
That unknown. No, no. I've been checking because the main issue I have here is how did this get to trial with these witnesses?
Because it's more incestuous than Alabama. And D. Robertson, I won't be streaming it, but Jamie and Marissa will be streaming it while I am in the States. I might jump in if I'm not having too much fun in Dollywood.
Yeah, but you talked earlier about this. How did she not know the Albert family? Well, if I remember correctly, Dad Albert is a first responder, or was.
Yeah,
That means he's a police officer and a first responder. This means he has some medical. He should have medical training because he's called into accidents. He's called into fires. He's called into all of these things where he might be of assistance. McLaughlin is a first responder, a firefighter. There's no way they haven't encountered each other. And if you go through a lot of case that maybe went to trial, I wouldn't be surprised if you find them both at some point over the last 7 years, either testifying or their reports have been in the same case.
Yeah.
Because Canton isn't that big.
No, it's half the size of my town. 24,000 inhabitants.
I mean,
no, Yeah, I think it was 24,000.
Yeah, I think it was like about
Yeah.
25.
I mean,
yeah.
how big is that in a town of 24,000 people? That police department is tops 40 people.
Probably less.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
it's
less.
less.
And the firefighters less. I mean, you're talking about a group of maybe 50 people, firefighters and cops, and you had never heard of him. I mean,
Yeah.
logically, it doesn't make sense whatsoever. And 140 firefighters. How many
Yep.
of those are volunteer firefighters and
Probably
full-time
all of them.
firefighters?
Yeah.
But
Stephen knows.
my
Stephen's deeds.
my mother and father used to work. My mom was at the hospital. My dad was a firefighter. They know cops because those three groups meet each other all the time.
Hmm.
Firefighters and police officers often date nurses because that's just the environment they come. They meet them at the work. You can ask your girlfriend. She knows firefighters as well and cops because that's just the environment they hang around in.
Now, 140 firefighters. I'm just going by how it's structured over here, so it might be structured somewhere. But when I talk about firefighters, I mean full-time firefighters. Then you have the voluntary firefighters who gets called in if something is huge. Now, McLaughlin is not a volunteer firefighter. I believe she's either a part-time or a full-time firefighter.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Stephen said they work 24
Oh.
on, 24 off, then or 20, yeah, and then 5 days. That's why they have so many.
Okay. Yeah, that
Well, a
makes
lot of
sense.
them are paramedics and firefighters in one too. So I'm wondering if
Yeah,
like
they
there's
do
crossover.
both. Yeah.
Yeah, I have my friend who's a police officer is actually also a first responder. They had medic helicopter service because it's a rural area, so she has to be the medic until the real paramedics can arrive. So there's this cross pollination because where do they get their training? First responder training will be at the fire station most likely, where they have these the people who instruct how to do CPR, first class high level CPR.
Oh, okay. Brian Albert was a Boston cop, not Kevin Albert is a Canton cop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah.
but the entire family are cops. The daughter works for the DA's office. The one she didn't know works for the DA's office.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That would.
Well, the attorney general.
Attorney General, not DA.
Hey, Big Johnson. Yeah,
Have
it's
the
because
attorney general spoken about this case, because that would be in the what do you call it? Blah 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 of interest.
well, the Canton Police Department did very quickly say we have a conflict, and then they self-inserted themselves into it multiple times after. Because Brian Albert called Brian Higgins, a DEA guy who was at the house, who had a small kind of an affair with Karen Reed. He called her and said, "Why don't you want to talk to?" I always get the Alberts mixed up, but he called to him and said, "Why don't you?"
Kevin called Brian Higgins. So,
Yeah. Kevin called Brian Higgins and asked, "Why don't you want to talk with Brian Albert?" And did you hear about the phones that they had a?
Yeah,
a
they
protective order on?
destroyed it, even though there was a court order to preserve it. Yeah. Tell me.
And the military, an Air Force base?
They went to an Air Force base and discarded it.
Yeah.
I don't know where you discard your phones. I just go to the dump and hand it into electronic waste. I don't go to an Air Force base. How is it in the U.S. Air Force bases? Do they fall under state law or federal law?
Federal law.
Yeah.
Well, military area for federal law.
Yeah. So how can the state police go look for it? They can't.
Oh, they need a federal subpoena. Oh.
Yeah, and it's a military base, so it's probably not even enough to get the feds on it. They'll have to go to the military.
How convenient
right?
It's almost as
But
if
you
they
have nothing
knew.
to hide. Nothing to hide, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And the
I-
lead proctor, the lead investigator, is just the toxicity of this all. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he is
If they can
just-
prove that he wrote those things to his friends, oh my God.
They have the proof of it, I'm sure. But I mean, yeah. And I mean, just I can't wait. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Having a
To
lead
see that.
investigator saying, "I'll hope she'll unalive herself. I was going through her phones looking for nudes. I haven't found any yet."
yeah. That part. That is the shock factor the defense needed to do, because when you go into a courtroom, you see the defendant. I mean, I'm trained into being innocent until proven guilty. Most people aren't. She must have done something. And then
Yeah.
boom, wake up call. And look at the lead investigator. He's a pervert.
Yeah,
And he's shady as hell.
and Darcy says Lally won't have Proctor understand. Well,
I think they have
he
to.
will be on the stand, and
Yeah.
they will. But he stated, because he was asked directly by Bev, and he said we will probably bring him on in the middle, and that's the thing. Us who watches a lot of cases, the lead investigator normally goes first or last, or first and last.
Yeah.
They never go in the middle.
No.
You have the ME to show all the bloody pictures, and then you have the lead investigator to tie it all together, and then you end your case.
Yeah. And I believe that the prosecution have to have him on because of control the damage, and also then they will have direct examination and rebuttal. If the defense calls him, they will have first dibs. What's the story we want in? The prosecution has to do damage control.
I mean,
But I
They want to
agree.
get ahead of it.
They
but
better,
I-
or they're gonna look so stupid.
They're going to
Yeah.
look stupid either way, I
I
think.
mean, they're gonna look
Yeah.
stupid
And-
anyway,
and-
but
Yeah. Another thing that is very peculiar in this case is that it is the defense that brings forward most of the evidence so far. Because
like they
the
actually did an
prosecution,
investigation.
and normally you see the prosecution, we want all of this in, and then the defense says no, objection, and then judge says you don't really need that, and that, but the rest you can get. Here they just talk to me. Don't no evidence and it's weird. I don't like weird when it comes to trials.
No, yeah, and that's the funny part. Defense were the first to show John's injuries.
Yeah, normally that's more or less even in the opening statements already.
Yeah, because you want the blood and gore there.
Yeah.
To get the jury riled up.
Yeah.
And that's why this case just doesn't make sense, because it has. I've been going through it for a year, and it doesn't make sense. I read it, I reenacted it in Lego. I've done so many things in it. Opening statements was 45 minutes, where 4 minutes was about the night of the incident, the deceased person, and his injuries. 41 minutes were about a trip to Aruba, how it was snowing, how they did a great job. It was snowing that night, and if you didn't know it, it snowed a lot that night. And
I saw it was snowing. It was not a blizzard. It was snowing. And by the way, have you seen on the Twitter X the theory about the Frozen shirt?
Yeah,
that was a guy making a joke, and I said it's just as good a theory as the cocktail glass.
Yeah. I mean, and I agree with people. There were at least 6 inches of snow, and I heard Ian say, "Oh, you poor women of Canton believing that is 6 inches."
Yeah.
So true.
24 feet of
Because-
snow.
Yeah. Then the wind was blowing in all directions, and
Mhm.
and then your parents spanked you on the way there and on the way back, and yeah.
And Big Johnson, you know cops. Have you ever heard about investigation of a unaliving of a cop where they didn't preserve the crime scene? They used a leaf blower to clear the crime scene of snow. They used red solo cups to contain evidence. They didn't canvass the area for ring cameras. They didn't take any pictures of any of the evidence at the scene of the crime. They don't have chain of custody for his phone, which they claim was underneath his body.
Mm.
But the firefighters didn't mention, none of the firefighter mentioned his phone was underneath him when they rolled him over.
No.
That was the thing I started thinking about, because it was found under his body, but no one said they found it. You have a
Yeah.
cop living in the house where it happened, and no one went in there to check if he was okay. I've seen crackheads getting a better police investigation than this. They had his clothes lying in the trunk of a car for 2 weeks before they put it into evidence.
And the phone was moving.
Yeah,
While
because
he
he didn't
was
put it in
laying
secure
there.
mode.
Mm.
It wasn't put in a Faraday bag. It's going to be hell when the technical evidence comes in.
Yeah, but here's the sad part about all of this. Even with ridiculous cases like this, we know this in the State v. Dykes case. We know this in the Zachariah Anderson case. Sometimes they get convictions out of absolute horse manure evidence and witnesses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the scary part about all this.
If Proctor pleads the fifth, he does it for every side. And he has to do it. He can't start talking and then say, "Oh, by the way, I plead
No.
the fifth."
He can't start testifying and then plead the fifth. He has to do it right out of the gate.
Can he plead the fifth?
But
Yes, he can.
Technically, he can, but
he can't.
But it
No.
doesn't look good.
No, but everyone has a constitutional right to plead the fifth. Anyone, even a cop, even the worst cop in the world, can say, Jamie's favorite amendment is
Fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
and he can do it, but then everyone will be looking at the 88 Lally and say, "Hey, buddy, that's your lead investigator. He's the guy who's going to testify to tail lights, how the car was when it was impounded, what happened in that garage where there's 45 minutes of surveillance lacking, where the clothes of John O'Keefe, where he found the taillight shots. None of that evidence can now come in this case because he's the guy who's going to bring it in. So should we just go outside while you write up the papers and Karen goes home? If he doesn't testify, Karen, they don't have a case because he will bring in most of the evidence. He will bring in almost all of the 45 pieces of taillight.
He's got to testify to the taillight, right? He's got to testify.
He found pieces of taillights 3 weeks after the incident, after a search team, which is
4
specialized.
cops didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden.
Yeah. Those 90 minutes where he had custody of the car, which he lied about. Yeah, that will come in. That will be quite interesting.
Yeah. How they respond here is normal behavior for how cops will go to great lengths to protect cops. Yeah, and that's the weird part. But normally they will always go to great lengths to get someone convicted of an unaliving on a cop and make sure those cases stick. Nothing is, yeah.
Now, John is a Boston cop. I wonder how the Boston Police Department feels about the Canton Police Department at the moment. Seeing this, they can't be really happy. Is this how you treat one of our own? And as I heard, man in the house is a Boston cop. Yeah, that's interesting.
Valhalla, I think if any defense can break him it'll be this defense.
Yeah, this her lawyers are good.
Alan
Really good.
Jackson.
It's really fun to
and
watch.
Yannetti. Oh,
Mm.
they're just.
Yeah, and that one thing I thought about was McLaughlin's display of the crucifix. I was under the assumption that religious markings on the stands are not allowed in many states.
I don't think I've seen
I
it a
don't know.
lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause
I've seen it in Florida. I know that.
Okay.
For the Maya case, there was that, what's her name? The CPS lady.
Yeah.
She was
Okay.
wearing that big gaudy one.
You know what they say: the bigger the cross, the bigger the. And Marissa just sent a piece of paper to me that might make Jamie angry.
Don't show Jamie. That's why I didn't show her.
what?
Bev's booked in the afternoon.
Monday, May 6th. Jury trial 9 a.m. Arraignment 12:15. Hearing for probation report. Conference to review status. Lobby confession conference. Pretrial conference. Motion hearing and pretrial hearing. All set for 2 p.m. So she has
Better
an
be quick.
arraignment at 12:15.
Those are
I don't
all
know.
canon. Session judge.
You better be fast.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You may not need me at 1.
No, I never know.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's another thing. I know you're watching that crazy case where nothing happens, but she's taking half days and quarter days and days off. We've been going for a week. We had 2.5 days in court.
Yeah. Welcome to my. That has been the case in my trial for over 5 months now. The young thug.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And but I said this back in August of last year. I'm going to cover this young thug case from gavel to gavel, so I'm in it for the long run.
Yeah.
And so I need more super chats over at my place because, I mean, the booze is getting expensive.
Yeah, that's the big problem. Yeah, I could see Jennifer McCabe pleading the fifth. Well, unless because again, Lally must have talked them into believing that just say whatever we want you to say, we'll protect you. That's what I think happened with that McLaughlin thing. Chick, did you see the pictures I showed earlier of her absolutely only being acquaintances with?
Yeah, I've seen those and a bunch of others. And
yeah,
had she just said, "We used to be friends in high school. We lost.
We ran track.
We lost touch. I haven't spoken to her in 5 or 6 years." Nothing of that would have. Nothing of the cross-examination would have come in. Had she just said, "We used to be friends in high school. I haven't seen her in years." Well, you're a friends on Facebook. Well, we all have people on Facebook friends that we actually never even met.
I have 350 friends on Facebook because I used to be in politics. I couldn't tell you where 350 well 300 of them lives in Denmark. I don't know.
I spent 3 years being a documents analyst in the European Union. There are people in my friends list I'm not really friends with, but I had to be polite.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the same as a politician.
Yeah,
I have a ton of very red politicians that I never talk to.
So everything in her demeanor, she just had to say that one thing, and she's not smart enough. And so is the prosecution, because with this case, at least one must have talked to her and said, "Just say you were friends with her and not anymore." That's all you need to say. If she had the brains for it, she would have a lawyer.
Yeah, but I saw one person saying
Yeah.
Canton is so small and so interbred with each other that if they win the case and she was close to costing them the case, she will be in heck of a trouble. She'll be socially ostracized, and that's probably why a lot of them will do whatever they can to help Lally in any way possible. And yeah, friends means she knows her family. It's the family she can't admit. Yeah, that's the problem, because if she doesn't know the family, she doesn't know who lived in the house. But another thing, and I just don't get this. Any reasonable thinking person would say 24,000 people in the town, a cop who has been on a TV show. Even if you don't know the family, you know, oh, that Albert guy who used to be on that TV show, yeah, he lives down on Fairview.
Yeah.
At least the first responders and the cops would know him. And none of them said, there's a dead Boston PD officer on the front lawn. We know there's a Boston PD officer living in that house. We better go check and make sure no one's out to get them. It could be MS-13.
Yeah. And even just knowing we need first responders to blah, 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 Fairview Road. And most others, wait a minute, who listens in? Isn't there where Albert is? Is this Albert?
Yeah.
That would be the first thought.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
And I want to hear the radio traffic on that call and what they were talking out of in the radio traffic, because radio traffic, at least now I have to refer to the Georgia or Atlanta rules. They are preserved in indefinite. So the radio traffic in this case should still be preserved. So it should be out there somewhere, and I hope the defense has it.
We have heard nothing about it, but we do know that the call log from the incident was wrong.
Yeah.
They misstated who arrived at what time, who arrived at what order, what address they arrived at, what address they were called to. There was 3 different addresses in the first reports coming from the scene.
Yeah. And he even testified to the grand jury about the wrong address.
Yeah, and it's just so crazy. But there's a Formula 1 race coming up, so I will be ending this. Tomorrow we'll start at 8:50. Let's see how long it goes. I have a meeting at 1, but Marissa will be on standby to make sure you don't miss anything. And Jamie will always be here bashing her lashes at you. What will you be doing tomorrow, Nick?
Oh, there's something. It's a new case. You might not have heard of it. Just starting out on it. It's called the Young Thug case.
I was like really on my edge of my seat. I was like...
No, it's the Young Thug case, and it's Monday. They will have almost a full week, unless another jury falls ill, if a witness doesn't turn up, if the judge is sick. I mean, anything can happen. But we do know that it's a we're over 2 hours in. It's a clusterfuck. And no, yeah. So next week it will be Young Thug. I will do updates on the Andrew Tate case, and I will do update, and I will try to get my new audience into the Zachariah Anderson case, because on Friday it's my birthday stream.
Yay!
So and happy birthday to me. And I will do a fundraiser to Zachariah Anderson's defense fund, and trying to get some funds to my upcoming trip to the United States in August. So that is what's going on next week for me. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, Baker.
Marissa, Jamie, do you have anything to plug other than you'll be here tomorrow?
Yeah, movie night tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yes, in the Discord. If you're a member of this channel or you want to join the Discord, just
I'm the
reach out
worst.
to Iris Whiskey. They will help you in there. There will be a movie night tonight at 6 p.m. They will be watching the second greatest space movie coming out in 1977, because of course Flash Gordon was the greatest. It's a small movie. Some people have heard about it. War in the Stars or something like that. I don't know it. Somebody said I should watch it, but it's too late for me. You can watch that over on Discord, and Jamie will be asking every 2 minutes, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah.
So you can help
I've
her
never seen
understand
it.
the movie.
I've never seen it.
You
I
haven't
never
seen
stayed
Star
awake
Wars.
through it.
The rest of you, I'm gonna ship you over to a channel I never shipped you anyone to before. I don't know. I can't say that name. Say hello from me over there, and have a wonderful Sunday evening. We will be back 8:50 tomorrow, fresh as daisies and ready to go. Hasta la taco.
In the courtroom, tensions high under that legal sky. Karen Reed's case, it's a wild ride. Truth's hard to find. But wait, hold on, what's this distraction? Snow dancing in over a girl's attraction. Snow, everywhere we go. But what about the facts we need to know? This lights back with a mighty glow. Exposing flaws in the investigation flow. Witnesses on the stand, feeling the heat. Prosecution's focus is kind of weak. But the defense, they're on fire, they won't retreat. Showing the flaws, making the case complete. Amidst the snowstorm, they're bringing light to every mistake, they're shining bright. Snow.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has. Everybody has.
That